Alright guys, happy Easter. What a beautiful sign this morning, and there's not just one of them. There's two of them. Because everything's better in a pair, hey guys, right? We know that. This is a sign. Let's get our messages. Hey guys, welcome. Now, we discussed having an Easter Sunday message, but we're going to have an Easter Monday message because I'm going to enjoy Easter Sunday with my loved ones.
I'm recording.
Instead of expending energy, you're gonna make some time for intimacy and honor the feminine. And saying that, I just want to send so many blessings all your way, because I really feel like this is a time where many people are honoring the lessons and the experiences of religion, but also we're expanding with what these celebrations mean. And I know that, you know, myself personally, I've been doing this as well, growing up, you know, with Roman Catholic influences and what this holiday meant in the past to now what this holiday means in the present. And I really feel like, you know, that we're healing through history and building this, you know, beautiful golden age future through the present moment. And we're finding the center points and we're activating with our authenticity and what that means. And I have healed from my experience with religion and expanding in, you know, with spirituality, and what spirituality is very personal. And I mean, I know many of you have heard the saying, like, religion is for people who are afraid of going to hell, and spirituality is for people that have been there. And I really felt close to that. I've healed from the fear that, you know, my ties to religion taught me. Like, I was not baptized, and I would go to the church and I would hear how I was going to hell because I wasn't baptized. And I would think, that's not God. That's not love. And I never felt a sense of belonging at church, at my church. And I know there are many people that do feel a sense of belonging. Remember, guys, these are our unique paths where we're healing back to one with the all in our own unique ways. And this is how we're all a piece of the puzzle coming together to create the whole of shifting from old earth in the creation of new earth through the present moment. And now I'm glad I had those experiences. I found the positive and the negative, because the story of Jesus and this time of year and just Jesus alone, and you know, I believe in Jesus being an ascended master. This is one of my beliefs through, you know, information I've retrieved from spirit science. Thank you, spirit science. We love you. We're friends with spirit science. Okay, we love spirit science. And you know, the human history movie, I do believe there's part 2. I can't remember if I watched part 2, guys. I've been through so many expansions, but really allowed me to heal with history. But it also activated a dark night of the soul. When we just see that truth, and it, like, you know, it's so dark, it's so negative. And remember, we're not going to confuse the night and darkness with dark and the evils of this world. And, you know, negative will always, and positive will always be a part of the dualities coming together to create the whole, but we're healing that through the center point in order to elevate it. And just healing from the story of Jesus. And I remember watching a documentary of the fact that they found the tombs of Jesus, that it's such a beautiful story that, you know, he was resurrected because he didn't fully die. They kept him alive with herbs. And when you really study herbal medicine, it'll blow your mind. Herbal medicine can heal you from every type of sickness that we've created here. And they kept him alive with herbs, and then he was resurrected. And he lived on, you know, he lived on somewhere, I forget where it was. I watched this documentary, it was beautiful. And when he was buried, they found his tomb, and within his tomb was the 3D Merkaba. They found this within his tomb. This documentary I watched, it just came into my vortex, changed my being, along with the information I found from spirit science, in order to understand what this time meant for my unique journey, as you guys are finding out what it means for your unique journeys. And the healing of, you know, Jesus being this ascended master, and what Jesus came to teach us unconditional love, to teach us sharing, to being in service, to healing from betrayal, from everywhere, to heal through suffering, to love through suffering, to expand through suffering, and to be love, light, everything that the Creator is. And I mean, even look at, he was in love with Mary Magdalene, you know, somebody who was, you know, considered, you know, shunned from society, a prostitute. But that's not God, that's not love and light. We're becoming very multidimensional. There is a big difference between, you know, setting boundaries with certain things in your life and saying, like, this is, I'll hold space for you with love, but I can't create here. This is not for my greatest good, but I'm not going to judge you. I'm going to hold space for you with love, and I'm not going to judge others. I'm going to hold space for them with love. But I also am going to protect the fact that, you know, my sacredness, my sacred container, and I'm not going to be food for lower vibrational things, and you know, but I can still show you love. I can still show you compassion, and it's not my place to judge you. And this is where we heal from a lot of the hostility that's created in this world, and understanding that, you know, the Creator's in the center point, and we're very multidimensional. Like, people, it's not the one thing over the other thing. Again, it's not like, oh, well, just because, you know, someone's done this and this, that they're a bad person. But also, just because somebody has done this and this, if this is not healthy for my universe, I'm allowed to put a boundary up. I still don't need to judge you. I still don't need to, you know, you're bad and I'm good. This is all experience for us to create with, and to understand that, you know, there's good and bad everywhere. There's dark and light everywhere. Everybody is healing from something, and at different, you know, different levels and degrees. And I really feel like there are places where there is a lot of evils in this world that we're healing from, but we're healing them with love. And we're healing them with love of self. And we are creating, you know, with these high vibes, with these very, very beautiful boundaries that honor the sacredness of life. And what is fair? Like, we're in a time of justice. What is fair with the heart? Is what happened to Jesus, was that fair? And you know, it's a beautiful story that does teach us things. And like, that's what I love about actually studying religion. Just the stories teach us something. There's always something to walk away from them. Not everything is tearing everything down. We got to build things back up too. It's part of the balance. And I just feel called, guys, I'm going to just let the messages flow today. Because what we're in a time of completion. We know this. And because we're birthing ourselves We're birthing our authentic self to the core, from within to without, and this is going to help us raise the vibration for the collective and like massively jump forth to amp up the building of this new world and heal what's happening without. This is a massive activation. This is evolution, guys. We are evolving. And we are in a time of completion of this level of what we're doing. And it has to do with healing from time. We heal from the past and build this beautiful future in the in-between. And we've seen how it's all connected, how it's all one. And we've been in a time of purification in order to amp up our receptivity. And this is being able to work with the light. Our light as well as the light, from within to without and without to within. And Aries season met up with Pisces, working with Pisces, and this conjunction with Jupiter and Neptune. And this conjunction in Jupiter and Neptune, we discussed this is a very special thing because the last time it happened, it was in the 1800s. And then our super pink full moon in Libra, where we have found the center point and we have restored balance here. And this has to do with healing to the core, with our heart chakra and our inner child, and the activation of truth with the mother and father, the water and the fire. And healing with our throat chakra. Here's where the moon illuminated the center point with the dark and the light. And now we're going to use our sacral chakra, because we've healed with it and untwisted it, to manifest our 9 of Cups. Wish fulfillment. And wish fulfillment is connected to our 10. It's connected to our purpose. So we remember justice. Justice with the heart. This is not corrupt justice. This is healing from corruption. This is justice of the heart. This is what is truth. This is what right. This is the power of truth. This is the power of the heart. And the birthing of the inner child, from within to without, to the core. So we're going to take these 13 spheres of knowledge and we're going to apply them here. And here we have the masculine and feminine coming together with the energy of youth present, the prince and princess. And we're going to expand through this cocoon, through the cocoon phase, okay? And when we expand through the cocoon phase, that's the birth. And we're birthing new possibilities for the collective. This is mission work. Now, last time we met up, I was at a whole different space with my healing. I had never shifted so far as I had before, and I was feeling so positive. And I was thinking, like, nothing can stop me, nothing can tear me down. I'm at a whole new level. This feels so great. And then the devil offered that cup and I drank it. And I couldn't believe that I drank it, but I could believe that I drank it. I don't know, it was very surreal, okay? And I was so happy, and I always think, like, when I'm unhappy, when I'm in the lower vibes, I'm gonna drink from that cup. But I was so happy. I was on the other end of the spectrum and I drank from that cup. And I was reminded just of, like, you know, we reflect from within to without and without to within, the current time that we've just been in. And what happened with Will Smith? And guys, I don't want to get too deep into this, but I feel called to just talk about it today because it's connected. And it's like, you know, many people said what happened with Will Smith, it was all planned. Now, whether it was planned or not, I don't know. And I don't feel like that's even for me to know. I'm not going to get lost in that. But I mean, his career now is not the same. He'll never be the same person before. And so if it was planned, why would he plan to ruin his career? And everyone's like, oh, it's a distraction. It's a distraction. But why would you plan to ruin your career? That doesn't make logical sense. Now, whether he did or not, that's not for me to know. That's for him to know. That's his path. But what was said to him by Denzel Washington, and I don't remember it, the exact verbiage word for word, but it was basically, you know, when you're at your highest, when you're at your peak, that's when the devil comes for you. And then what happened, and now we know the repercussions of his actions. And I know myself personally, when I saw that, I did not feel like that was the divine masculine, and I don't believe in violence. You know, we don't condone violence. We don't handle our problems with violence. And there, you know, were many toxic feminines that still had to heal and saying, you know, oh, that was so romantic. He stood up for his woman. But no matter what, we're not in aggression. And that's not how we heal with our truths. We artfully heal with our truths. We artfully create here with the truth. And there are many other avenues that he could have taken and gone down. But this is his experience. This is his path. These are the mistakes that he made in order to heal with what he's going through. And understanding that, you know, we all have a path. And I've never been one to just sit here and say I'm going to hate everybody in Hollywood and they're all just the devils. That's not for me to get lost in. That's not for me to know. What, you know, what is meant for me to know is meant for me to know. And I'm going to laser focus on what I'm, you know, need to laser focus on with my healing here in this path, and to understand, you know, we all have a path here. Even these evil forces, they have a path here too. And the Creator has a plan in order to use all of this in order to, you know, nothing goes to waste, to create anew with it. And we know that Hollywood does not mean the same thing as it does before. We don't. You know, I remember growing up in my generation, it you know, these were the stars. That's changed. We are the stars. We're healing from lower vibrational things in the element of air and gossip and, you know, idolizing these people in Hollywood. We're not idolizing them anymore. And people that are still of, you know, they're still sleeping and they still, I don't know if they're gonna wake. That's once again too not for me to know. It's not. Moving forth, I feel like now I've gotten lost in what we're talking about here. But anyways, going back to what happened without reflected back to me within. I was at the highest I'd ever been. And the devil came for me. And I drank from that. I drank from that cup. And I fell and I crashed. And all of those things that I still needed to heal, that I thought were healed, were not fully healed. I had to heal to the core. And I had to see this. And I had to see that all of it was part of the whole. And I still was not accepting a full piece of myself. And, you know, what really got me was I couldn't believe I was back there after all of this time. And after all this expansion work, remembering healing as a spiral, but I was almost dumbfounded. And then I felt like I'd wrecked everything. I'd wrecked everything that I built. And I was in such, you know, a deep place, but I really had to heal to a whole new level in order to get out of it. And really to understand all the work that I've done with body and to really honor this work with body. But then I was getting ready the reading for the super pink full moon. And I noticed when we were getting the messages from the moon, the last card out was the card that I wasn't called to share, and there's a reason why, but I just, you know, I saw it because I connected to it. I was supposed to see it, was the fall. This would have been the next card that was shared. So the fall was always written in the stars, and this is falling from, you know, many people say grace, falling from that elevation. But remember, what goes down must go up, and it was in order to see a deeper level to the core and understand that this, you know, allowance and this was all a part of my experience here in order to work with you guys. And I share my stories so that you guys can resonate with them. The frequency of allowance invites us to open to whatever comes our way without judgment, without opinion, without fear, without resistance. When we allow, the universe becomes our partner in the wondrous dance of existence and expansion. And it was all about choice. It was about seeing a deeper level of choice, because right before this happened, the universe was speaking to me, and my son had a gym project he had to work on, and it was all about choice and making decisions, and how, you know, we can use our intuition to make a certain amount. We can use our intuition to make choice, to feel the energy in motion, to use that sixth sense, and to understand.
And like and subscribe and hit the notification so you don't miss another video.
Oh, thanks, boo. to speak of him and hearing appears. So we can use our intuition to make a choice, and all of our choices, I wanted to use the right words here, guys. I lost my words. All of our choices, all of the decisions that we make, they all have outcomes and what we're creating. And that I need to realize that what my outcome is. I've drank from that cup enough to know that I have the choice and what the choices mean. And ultimately the choice was mine, and I chose to do it. But I also honor it was part of my experience here in order to heal and to create. And I wasn't fully healed. That's why I still drank from that cup. There was something left over to still heal from. And I had to get closer to my passions. And work with Gaia. And we're going to talk about this in part 2, channeled messages. And make a negotiation between both parts of myself. Because I was not fully honoring this part of myself. And I saw that when I drank from the cup. I saw how that other part of myself was still a part of myself, and I was not honoring it with love. And I really feel like this goes back to where we started off with, like, having boundaries for our elevations, for our love, but also to honoring everything as part of the whole and closing in the gaps, feeling comfortable in between. So I had to remove another level of my mask. And guys, I didn't mess with these cards. All these cards were connected in a row within the deck from the super pink full moon in Libra. And elevate with my solar plexus. So we're elevating with our solar plexus to heal with our reputations. And looking that deep within is allowing us to heal with our reputations at a whole new level. And what this means, this isn't an old earth way of social conditioning, and it has to look like this and be like this. This isn't the new way of it being true. And us making mistakes, us not being perfect. We're perfectly imperfect. And that's how we're going to heal the world. And then setting it all free with the water, with the power of water. Now guys, I want to talk about this more in part 2, channeled messages. We're going to get deeper into this. I love you all. I will see you there. And then we're going to expand off it in part 3.